Let's go. Another episode. Feels good to be back here with you fellas. It's been
Yes,
a little
sir.
bit, so ready to talk some ball. Welcome into the putback. If you don't notice, there's a new logo. Let me point the right direction here. There's a new logo, and it is on the background too. We're excited. New intro on the way. Lots of good things coming for the putback in the near future. Jack McKinnon here with you. Nolan Brooks, Dovensky on the pod tonight. Boys, we got some important topics to talk about. It's going to be a quick show. But before we get to that, make sure to tune into everything we got going on here at Stadium Rant, all of our shows that we got going on. What a good time to plug the Dirty Leather baseball podcast that we got going now. It'll be on directly after us here on all of our streaming spots on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So make sure to tune into that as they start to dive into the fresh new MLB season here for the foreseeable future. But we have tons of other stuff at Stadium Rant, tons of written content, tons of electronic, tons of digital content as well. All good stuff. Only up from here for Stadium Rant and the putback. So let's not waste any more time. Again, quick show tonight. We're running a little late here, but all good. And we'll start it off with kind of the lesser known topic amongst the three of us, and that would be March Madness. Okay. So we are getting into the later rounds here of March Madness. Obviously, the big team or the most talked about team right now would be Cooper Flag and the Duke Blue Devils, just because Cooper Flag obviously expected to be the number one overall draft pick should he go pro and leave Duke. But as of right now, we are in the Sweet 16. A game is going on right now. So lots and lots of basketball left for on the college side. I would say the one big storyline from last night, Alabama scored 113 points in a college basketball game. That is unreal. They broke the NCAA record for three-pointers made. They shot 51 three-pointers and made 25 of them last night. So I would say the college game has really upped. Jack, have you gotten to watch any of March Madness so far?
In parts, it's obviously different times over here, but I mean, it's been electric. There's been a lot of big performances. Tyrese Proctor in particular has been awesome to watch. I love watching Tyrese Proctor and Cooper Flag, of course. But yeah, Alabama, 25 of 51, I think it was from three. I mean, BYU were playing the Celtics last night. That was just that was tragic for them. But I can't say I've got any full games in yet. But as we get to the Elite Eight, I will try to make as much time as I can, yeah, for sure.
Sure, yeah. And I mean, again, my perfect bracket was busted a while ago. I did pretty well throughout the first day, and then it was a couple of the games at the very end that just kind of tanked me. Some upsets that I didn't necessarily pick. But yeah, lots of good basketball going on the college side. Florida, one of the favorites, a number one seed. They won pretty handily over Maryland last night. Texas Tech actually won. They scored. I think they got a layup last second, and then it was a crazy finish. It literally came down to a final shot in that one. And then Duke and Arizona was just a slugfest. But Cooper Flag, another 30-point performance, basically almost another triple-double. He had like 38 and 7 or something like that. So lots of good basketball on last night. Houston and Purdue will be a good matchup tonight. That Houston being another one of the one seeds, then Kentucky and Tennessee. So basically, if you look at the remainder of the field, it's the SEC versus pretty much the Big Ten. The SEC had 14 teams, I think, make it this year, and there's still, if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So SEC dominated field this year for sure. All right, well, let's move on from that and let's get into the main topic of the night. So, you and Dovensky are just head over heels for LeBron. He is your king, and him and Stephen A are in some weird argument that LeBron doesn't even want to be in. I don't think, to the point that Stephen A is saying LeBron's didn't go to Kobe's memorial ceremony, which is not true at all. So I mean, let's just kind of talk about it. I mean, what are your initial reactions to this? I mean, LeBron does not like to kind of get into social media spats with anybody, but man, Stephen A is trying real hard, throwing left and right, trying to keep him active in it.
Listen, it's as a journalist, the guy that Stephen A. Smith is, it's his job.
Can you guys finally hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, my friend.
God, finally, bro, my iPad was tripping. I was gonna lose it.
Hey, you're good, bro. We're just about to talk about the glorious king. But yeah, I was saying, Stephen A is a journalist. In the end of the day, he's gonna try to create as much media attention as possible.
I have been a fan of Stephen A for the longest time, but this. I'm losing so much respect for the guy, and he just doesn't get the point. He doesn't get LeBron's point, and the fact that he doesn't get LeBron's point is proving LeBron's point. And it's just like, why are you still going, bro? Like, why are you still going? I don't want to use any vulgar language, but dang, you need to keep LeBron's area out your mouth.
To be fair, he did apologize for the Kobe statement thing.
I don't believe it. I don't believe
that was just a weird thing to say, even if he didn't get it. It's a random thing to bring up. You know what I mean?
Because think about it, bro. I didn't want to mention the memorial, and he proceeds to mention the memorial.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Here, I can read that actual tweet. So this was from 2:08 p.m. Local time yesterday. My apologies and clarification. I misspoke in hour 1 of First Take today when I intimated that, or intimate. He spelled that wrong. Intimated that LeBron did not attend Kobe Bryant's memorial. I corrected myself in hour 2 when I acknowledged he was indeed in attendance. My mistake. Should not have even broached that subject. It was not my main point. I retract nothing else that I said. Have a nice day. So
sounds right.
Fake PR stunt. He got schooled by the media. Hold up, he got schooled by the media, and he wants to disrespect our glorious king, LeBron James. I've had this jersey since 2012. It's a youth medium. It still somewhat fits me. I'm not getting rid of that because that was my first ever NBA jersey.
I love that. Yeah. But it was it's not even Stephen A. I mean, it is just Stephen A. But obviously, LeBron was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about Stephen A. and Brian Windhorst as well. He said one thing about Brian Windhorst, but that was median. But Wendy's reply was, LeBron doesn't know me anything. Been, I met him 25 years ago. I understand, where I am in his life, it's crystal clear to me. He didn't make a big deal of it. That was a classy response because Brian Windhorst, he's got a reputation to be a classy guy in the NBA circles. So that was nice to see.
I kind of feel bad for him because he got a jab and he didn't even do anything. It's like that classic 50 Cent meme. Why are you saying F me for it?
What I do.
Literally, Wendy's be chilling and he just got a jab for no reason. That was
that LeBron interview was more him just letting off steam. He's just I'm sick of journalists talking about me.
I don't like hearing people say, even Stephen A said it. People are saying, "Oh, it's because Stephen A doesn't have him as the GOAT." If that was the case, why didn't he ever confront Skip Bayless? All these years, he never confronted Skip Bayless, bro.
Did you hear what Kendrick Perkins said?
I
He
did,
got
yeah.
LeBron's number blocked. Yeah, nobody cares.
He said,
All the
I
comments
got
I've seen on that are like, you
got
act like
LeBron
LeBron
number
was
blocked.
calling you anyway, Kendrick.
LeBron found out at the same time as us, man.
Bro said, I got LeBron James number blocked. What?
No,
Good
but
for you, man.
What?
he also said that Jordan was going to sign him to Jordan Brands, but he took it back because he said LeBron's the GOAT. Like, everybody was signing you to no shoe deal, perk.
Nobody was gonna sign him to nothing. He was a dog in high school, but in the NBA,
That was probably my favorite quote from the Pat McAfee show when they were talking about the shoe deal, because they said LeBron only signed with
because of
Nike because of Jordan, and then LeBron went off on a tangent. He's like,
yeah, it was like,
he's like, the fuck are you talking about? Excuse my language. Like, I mean, he's like, I signed with Nike because I got one hell of a signing bonus.
Exactly.
5-year, like 70-something million, and I got my mom out of the hood the next day.
Right.
He's like, I didn't sign. Now I wore 23 because of Jordan. That's true.
He admits that.
Great,
no
but
about it.
He didn't sign with Nike because of when I heard that, I went, all right, this is the point that we're at, where LeBron is having to defend the shoe company he signed with, and he's in what year is he in now in the NBA?
22.
Like, why does he have to defend who he signed a shoe deal with 20 plus years ago? Nobody cares. I mean, it just seems like a lot of like unneeded arguing towards a player that, I mean, for how long was he out? I mean, he missed a lot of games because he was sitting out with an injury, which that obviously that was right around All-Star game time. I mean, he's having to try to kind of get back into that mode of, all right, we're a playoff team now. They acquired obviously Luka Doncic, and I mean, they're going to be a threat in the West in the playoffs, and he's trying to get back into that mode, and Stephen A is trying to distract him out of that mode, and I really don't get it. I really don't. Did you guys see the other comment that so it was about Giannis, like would Giannis dominate
I wanted to get to that.
in the 70s? Yeah, that's right, Dovensky. You brought that up. Would he dominate in the 70s? And LeBron basically said he would score like 115 points in a night or something crazy. Like
I swear, bro, I swear, I dislike Mad Dog Russo so much. He's the perfect guy for ESPN, but he is the worst guy that you want if you're a basketball fan. Because he literally doesn't acknowledge any type of basketball beyond like 1989. Unless it's like Michael Jordan. That's my biggest gripe with him. Dude is so busy talking about guys from the 60s. Now, I'm not going to disrespect anybody from the 60s. But when you have like Bob Cousy in your top 5 point guard list, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with you. If you're saying top 5 point guard or player from the 60s, then that's fine. But of all time, bro, no.
I mean, he's definitely the best point guard of the 60s, but he's not half as skilled as like Dennis Schroeder.
Exactly.
You know, so
the man had Julius Erving over Giannis, and I don't care how many. I don't care how many old heads. I don't care how many old heads say, "Oh, this current game is soft." You telling me that 6'11", 250 Giannis, with the rules that they had back then, if Giannis had if they said, okay, you can do whatever you want, you telling me Giannis isn't going to bulldoze through the defense of the 70s, bro? Come on, bro.
I mean, Giannis would be Wilt after Wilt.
Exactly. Bill, like, if you put Bill Laimbeer today, he's not doing half of the things that he did in the 80s.
Bill Laimbeer is like, I don't know, Nerlens Noel.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. He's not going to do the dirty plays that he was doing back in the 80s if you put him in today. So saying all these players are soft, I mean, you could say somewhat, but the rules kind of are against them. It's literally for the offense. if you were to put 80s defense in today's era, a lot of guys are going to be scrappy. Like NBA playoff basketball in the finals, it gets pretty scrappy. Less whistles are blown in the finals and the playoffs, but in the regular season, obviously, like almost every call is called. But saying that Giannis wouldn't dominate in the 70s because so and so will put him on his back, that's not true. Because Giannis is going to put people on their backs for sure.
Um, here's my 2 cents on that whole thing. So I've been watching the Celtic City documentary on HBO, and it covers every era of the Celtics. And it's right now. It just got done with it's the start of the Bird McHale Parrish era. Okay, and eventually it'll end and finish up with more about the Tatum championship run, which they've showed clips of that and kind of dive back and forth. And in that, this is where this ties back in. They talked about how there's a clip of Cedric Maxwell in the Eastern Conference Finals falling into the crowd, getting pushed by a crowd member, and then he jumps back into the crowd and shoves the guy and gets into a fight. There's 0 technicals, 0 suspensions, 0 fines. And I would like to imagine if you put someone like Giannis in an era like that, I think it's just going to light a fire under him. I really do. I mean, and if you think about it, the type of player that Giannis is, if you look at like an MVP year from Giannis, that type of player, I would say the only real like kind of comparison to that size and that length and athletic ability would have been maybe Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain type in the 60s, just because they're just so much bigger and more athletic than everybody else that you couldn't stop them. And that's why I disagree with like Stephen A saying it's disrespectful that LeBron thinks he would score that much or he would play that well in that era, when it's like, well, if you praised those guys of that era for how different or how much more athletic they were than their opponents, why wouldn't Giannis just fall into that same category? So I don't see how it's disrespectful to say that he would be just as dominant in that era when that's exactly what you were doing for guys in that era. I mean, they were talking about there's part of the documentary where they say Bob Cousy was a better basketball player than Bill Russell at the time. I mean, it's crazy to hear, but that just those kind of comparisons I think are dumb to kind of discredit, because there are certain players from today's era, if you put them in the right spot, I think they would dominate. They really would. If you put Giannis in the 70s, he would dominate. If you put him, though, against like the bad boy Pistons, he's probably going to get beat up a little bit because they got away with shit that a lot of teams probably would not get away with nowadays. Obviously, nowadays it would be flagrant 2 and suspension and fines and all that, but they got away with a lot of stuff. So that's where it's like, all right, just a different level of toughness and no calls. Like you can't compare apples to oranges with that kind of stuff. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Nah, you straight, bro.
5 minutes.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Because it makes no sense to me. Because these are the same guys that will say something like Mark Price today would be a great player, or Reggie Miller today would be a great player. Now, I'm not gonna say it's not true, but I don't believe that Mark Price would be a superstar. I don't think Reggie Miller would be a superstar. I think he would be like a great second option probably. But these guys, anytime you say current NBA player in past era, is disrespect. But if you say past player in current era, it's perfectly fine. Saying what will dominate in today's era, which I believe he would. Even if he doesn't have a 3-point shot, I still think he would. And he would have so much attention inside the paint that he could just kick out the ball to somebody on the 3-point line. You can say the same for Shaq. You can say Magic would probably be really good in today's era, Jordan. But God forbid I say LeBron would dominate the 60s. Now I'm being disrespectful. I'm being, oh no, you're being inconsiderate for the guys that played in the. Bro, LeBron is 6'9", 250. But according to him on the McAfee show, he's between 215 and 280. But you telling me a guy like that big, that fast, that strong, multiple sports that he played football as well as basketball, so he has the speed and the strength for football too. You telling me that if he were to take the ball down the court in the 60s and the 70s, he wouldn't be able to do anything, bro? They would literally tell him he can't dunk the ball. Same thing with Kareem in high school. They're going to tell him he can't dunk the ball with how ferocious he snaps.
Yeah. I believe the quote out of that whole thing was, LeBron hates the fact, and this is a direct quote. This is from First Take's Twitter account, quoting Stephen A. on the show. This was 2 days ago, by the way. LeBron hates the fact that people can point to a previous era and talk about what you're not. I have never once heard LeBron James say or act like he gives a single shit what people think about him.
Right.
I've never heard that. I have you guys. I mean, I know, like, I obviously I'm a little bit older than you guys, so I mean, I got to see a little bit of the Kobe era lead into the LeBron era, and I've seen a little bit more of that. But even, I mean, recently, would you guys say you've heard? I've never heard LeBron just snap about something like that, where he just hates how people point stuff out about him.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing that I've heard LeBron talk about is how that like the media doesn't give any credit to the young stars today, and it's so true. And Stephen A. Smith is out here talking about how when LeBron retires, he's not gonna matter or he's irrelevant. So then talk about somebody else. Why is LeBron's dick in your mouth? Please, bro, wipe the nut off of your mouth. It is everywhere. Please. It's all over the place. You gotta get it out. You have to. It's disgusting. There's no way you're gonna say when LeBron retires, oh, he's not gonna matter, he's irrelevant. So why are you still talking about Jordan? Why is the GOAT debate the main topic on First Take? If you're really not concerned about LeBron's retirement, if you're not concerned about LeBron right now, then talk about somebody else. You rarely hear anything about Shea. You rarely hear anything about Jokic. You rarely hear anything about what OKC is doing. You rarely hear anything about what Cleveland or what Boston is doing. I may hate Boston, but I can't lie. Boston is a great basketball team. You don't hear anything about what the rookies these days are doing unless it's Bronny, which then just goes back to LeBron. So at the end of the day, ESPN needs LeBron because that's how they get their viewership. That's literally the only reason why Stephen A is bringing this up, because he knows it's going to get viewership, which I don't blame him about, because at the end of the day, the viewership is what's bringing the money. But I feel like there's different ways to make viewership, because once LeBron retires, who's going to be the next story I'll talk about? Because it ain't going to be Tatum. And I've said this before. Tatum, in my opinion, Tatum is the current day Tim Duncan. Great stats on a great team, but yet when you watch him play, it's boring. Nobody talks about him. Tatum could win an MVP and nobody will really care. Same thing with Tim Duncan. He may have won an MVP, but nobody really cared. Nobody really cared about the Spurs like that. They may have won multiple championships, but nobody really cared about the Spurs like that. More people were focused on the Lakers, and I understand that because that's a higher market team. But you got so many guys these days that are able to do so many different things. You got Wemby, and yeah, the media has been focused on Wemby, but now he's out with the blood clots, and I hope he gets better. But who's next? Who are you going to talk about? Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be talked about. So who are you going to shift to? Honestly, I think it's going to be Shea, but they don't want to talk about OKC. So what are they going to do when LeBron retires? They're going to still bring him up. They're still going to still talk about the GOAT conversation. It's always just going to be with LeBron and Jordan at the end of the day.
That's what Bronny's for, man. When LeBron retires, they can talk about Bronny. Then they got Bryce. You know what I'm saying? They got James
the Prince. They're gonna start talking about the Prince very soon.
Yes, they are. Who's been playing great, by the way.
Prince very,
we
very soon.
give Bronny some props. That boy has been a hoop in the last 2 weeks.
I'm saying 39 points in the G League.
You go watch. You've seen all those clips, right? You seen some of the defense that they're playing in the G League right now?
Yeah.
First team all rookie. First team all rookie for Bronny. Let's go. First team all rookie.
He's playing great. Don't get me wrong. Like he dropped 39 points. I mean, he played great. But I'm watching how some of those guys are getting around screens, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm pulling up for a 3-pointer if he's not gonna go around the screen like that. Sorry, I'm bad to the touch jar here.
I was more referring to the 17-point game against the Bucks. Even though they were down pretty heavily for most of that game. That was a good shot against like a real NBA team. I love to see that.
Yeah.
Any other 55 overall pick would be a steal.
Basketball gods, I am praying for you to do this during LeBron's final season. Please, basketball gods, I am praying for this. I need a screenshot. I need a photo of Bronny throwing a lob to LeBron. I need it. I need him to do the Wade pose or a new pose. I need something like that. I will buy that poster and I will hang it on my wall. Basketball gods, if it's on LeBron's final regular season game, if it's on LeBron's final game in the NBA Finals versus Cleveland at home at Cleveland, and the Lakers win and LeBron celebrates in Cleveland, that'll be amazing. Please.
This is the longest prayer I've ever heard.
They'll make it happen. They will make it happen.
I might get that tattooed if that happens. I'm gonna get a tattoo on my back if that happens.
Bro, that'll be
just your entire back from shoulder blades down to belt line.
Hey man, it's LeBron. Who cares? You've heard all these new LeBron songs, bro.
Oh, they're so good. They're actually insanely good. These people are so talented.
Hey man, I'm waiting for that LeBron album. It's gonna go triple platinum for sure.
LeBronify.
First week triple platinum. Them LeBron songs triple platinum first week. I'm calling it.
Hang on, dude. Playboy carding numbers.
I wanted to read another quote to you guys, and this is from Stephen A. from a couple days ago. Nice try, folks. On my show, I said I would have swung on King James, and he added him, had he slapped me. Like lots of y'all said I was scared he would have done a few weeks ago. I also said immediately after that I would have gotten my ass thoroughly kicked by the 6'8", 250-pound Goliath. But folks just left that part out of my YouTube sentence, huh? Okay, have fun.
Again,
immediately some of the comments or the replies, someone said, when did LeBron ever say he was going to slap you, dude?
Definitely would swing. Definitely would swing. Definitely would swing. Yeah.
And that was crazy that he posted that.
I've also seen the video of him walking into a Laker game or a Knick game up at MSG, and everyone or the comments are like, "Man, he really thinks everybody cares that he's walking into the game right now."
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like he high fives one person, literally one person. He high fives on the walk in to sit down. And he acted like it was like a camera is following him on the big screen the whole
was that game
in.
7?
I think so. I can't remember what game it was, but
because the Pacers won in 6, I believe. Did they win in 6 or 7? Because I think that was like
6.
That was one of the later games in MSG in that series. That man was walking with the camera on him as if he was one of the players.
That's funny.
If LeBron put his hands on me, I would have swung with. Why would LeBron put his hands on you?
You wouldn't have had the chance.
Why is that?
It's not even like what would happen if he did. Why would he in the first place?
Exactly. It's like, why would any
trying to create something for a player that has never been involved in something of that level at any point in his career? The closest he got was when he was sitting on the sideline and those two ladies were hugging on him, and he probably had to sleep on the couch that night.
Oh, yeah.
Hannah saw those ladies hugging on him. That was about it.
Bro, those comments were funny after that clip. Somebody in the comments was like, Savannah James, oh, so you think you're a comedian now? Someone say he's sleeping on the couch tonight. That was, like, seriously, imagine being 22 years in your profession, in the public eye. Not even for 22 years, in the public eye since you were in high school, and you're 40 years old now, and you can't, like, they can't even pinpoint one big controversy to your name, while every other, like, large star in NBA history, they have some type of controversy. Jordan with the gambling, Magic Johnson with, Wilt with all his stories, 10,000, so probably more. Bird, actually, I haven't heard anything about Larry Bird.
Thing is, like, media coverage is so much bigger now, so it would be so much easier for something to leak or for stories to get out about LeBron.
Yeah.
But
and the fact that nothing happened still,
the
worst thing that you got is, what was it, OJ Mayo dunking on him, and then they deleted the footage because that was just early AI footage.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That was early AI footage. Gershon Yabusele, they apparently dunked on him in the Olympics, bro. That's the advancement of AI, bro. AI is getting really, really good. You saw the Stephen A. Smith memes now of him in his underwear with the ice cream. You see how good AI is getting? Don't tell me you've never seen. Don't tell me you have not seen any single edited bro. Oh, y'all are missing out. I gotta see if I can find one. I can find one real quick on Twitter. Oh yeah, here's one. Immediately.
Oh my god.
As soon as I hopped on Twitter, he's probably in his room eating ice cream in his tidy whities. Yep.
I did see LeBron.
That is hilarious.
All right. One other thing I wanted to ask you guys about was the half-court buzzer beater last night from Josh Giddey.
I ain't gonna lie. That trade is looking really good now.
I mean, no, yeah, and I know that was always the conversation was, will Alex Caruso be truly worth Josh Giddey? I mean, Josh Giddey's a triple-double night guy, and Caruso scoring maybe 10 a night, maybe.
But Alex Caruso fits that OKC team so much better.
Exactly, and I think that's what gets lost in the translation. But that's besides the point. But I did see a tweet that said Josh Giddey needs to hang this in a frame in his living room because it's LeBron with the hand up in his face, half-court buzzer beater. I mean, they're like, this is the best moment of his life unless he wins a
championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even then.
For now, that's going to be the greatest moment of you made a half-court over LeBron.
Yeah, you're in the same photo frame as LeBron. That kind of beats anything at that point.
Exactly. If I was somehow in the same photo frame as LeBron, I would keep that photo frame somewhere in my room. I don't know where. Probably under my pillow, but it's gonna be somewhere in my room.
No glaze.
And the Bulls, usually the 9th seed, and there they are in the 9th seed.
But aside from last night,
Josh Giddey are 10th place.
Really well. Last month or so, Josh Giddey's been insanely good at basketball. Ever since the Bulls gave us Zach LaVine and the Kings have been trash, the Bulls have been great. The Bulls and the Kings are both the 9 seed, which is hilarious because the Bulls are like 8 games under 500 and I think we're at 500. But Josh Giddey and Kobe White have looked so good together. So I love that for Chicago. But
oh yeah, they've been great. Kobe White has been going off multiple 30-point games in a row. Josh Giddey getting triple. Low-key, I think it was a tragedy that Josh Giddey didn't get first team all rookie in his rookie season. Because he was hooping in his rookie season too. I think he's the youngest player to get a triple-double, right? I believe so.
Him or LaMelo might have broke that.
Yeah.
Melo might have broke that as well.
LaMelo, but
I think Melo was younger by like like 40 days or something. Like it was close, but I think it was Melo. It might have been Melo.
JC, go ahead and log out for me, bro. I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah. He's definitely on that 80 snow for sure.
And Tyler, stay here.
Y'all are on that 80 snow, bro. Just like them 70s players that Mad Dog Russell thinks would dominate Giannis.
Uh-oh. His internet crashed out. Oh man. JC, that profile pic is wild, my guy. Let's look at it again. Oh man. JC, thank you for jumping in on the comments. Real quick, Jack, I want one last kind of question for you, just to kind of wrap it up. We'll look at the standings here while we're at it. Cleveland obviously is wrapped up. Pretty much, they've clinched their division. I mean, they're 5 ahead of the Celtics. I mean, they're looking like they're going to lock up the Eastern Conference if all holds true. Yes, it is, JC. It 100% is. But what do you are there any teams right now that you kind of have your eye on in these standings? I mean, they're really, really kind of starting to get solidified here. A lot of teams clinching their playoffs. The only thing is the West. The only team that's clinched is the Thunder. Everybody else has not clinched a playoff spot yet because they're that close in the standings. Mm-hmm. But is there any teams out of the East and the West that you have your eye on the most come down the stretch here?
Well, it's interesting because one of them would have been Memphis. I definitely had Memphis as a solidified like dark horse for a championship run, but then they just fired their head coach for no apparent reason. Fired Taylor Jenkins. Not only that, they fired 2 of his assistant coaches as well. So I'm thinking it's got to be something. It can't be something personal, but it's got to be something. It's so weird
with the Lakers.
44-29. They're tied for 4th place. They're a game and a half out of 3rd, and you fire 3 coaches. Something had to happen.
A month before the playoffs.
They're a game and a half under the 3rd seed, and they're 3 games and a half under the 2nd seed, and yet fired. Definitely.
And Ja Morant's only played 43 games this season. You know, they're just getting healthy again.
As Nicholas always tells me, coaching does not matter in the NBA no more. And it's true. You can be Adrian Griffin gets fired as the 3rd seed, and the Bucks just dance on his grave basically like that same night of their game. And now Taylor Jenkins gets fired just a few weeks before the playoffs while as the 5th seed and just a few games under the 2nd seed. That's crazy.
Yeah. But a lot of Memphis Grizzlies fans are like happy that he got fired.
Oh yeah, I saw comments saying that the Grizzlies aren't really that good of a team. The last team with a winning record that they beat was Dallas, but that was when Dallas was down like 7 or 8 players.
Thing is, that's still regardless of this how the fans like a coach or not. You don't fire your coach half a month before the playoffs start. That's just a recipe for disaster. Switching up your whole team like that. That's never worked ever. But the Grizzlies, it's actually incredible how they've managed to not have a decent starting wing for 4+ years. Whole time they've had Ja Morant and been competitive. Their best wing, and I'm not including Desmond Bain, obviously. I'm saying he's a guard. Their best wing's been Gigi Jackson, who's 19.
It's crazy.
We saw how quickly Cleveland managed to get DeAndre Hunter in their first year being really competitive. And it's been 4 years and the Grizzlies still can't do that. So it's always the head coach that's going to get the blame. It's going to get fired before anyone else. But I don't know who the GM is in Memphis, but get a damn wing.
Yeah, 100%. I wish we could. We can talk about this a little bit more. Do like a standings update. I think on our next show. I think that would be a good one as we get down the stretch here. We're really out of time on this episode just because Dirty Leather's starting soon. But Dovensky, we're just real quick. What is one team kind of out of this field so far in the standings that you're kind of looking forward to down the stretch?
One team that I'm looking. My Pacers, bro. The Pacers. Hey, don't sleep on
My
the Pacers, bro.
It's crazy.
I was preaching about the Pacers last season. Look what they did. Conference finals. Now they have some experience. Pacers. They're still my dark horse. But hey, the Pistons have been looking good. But I'm still on the Pacers. I've been a Pacers supporter since last season. So I don't want nobody sleeping on the Pacers. I am going to preach about the Pacers until they get rid of Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam or something like that. But the Pacers for sure. I think they can make some noise, but probably by the conference finals they're going to be gone.
Yeah, we will see. All right, so trouble in Memphis, sleeper team in the Pacers. Lots of NBA basketball left. March Madness is still going on. Make sure to tune into the Putback every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Go follow these two gentlemen on their respected social media accounts. And as always, go check out everything we got going on here at Stadium Rant. The Dirty Leather coming up next here in literally like 30, 45 seconds, I imagine, as soon as we're done here. So make sure to tune into them as baseball season is underway and basketball season starts to wrap up. But we have been the Putback. For Jack, Nolan, and Dovensky, we will see you next time.